Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's your host, Big Lap, aka Lil Lappy, aka Dark Shark, but don't tell anybody. So, this is my studio. It's my new house. This is where I live. You like it? It's cool. You see, I got my microphone. I got all this stuff, man. This is where history is being made right here in this very studio. It's cool. It's cool. Mixtape coming soon. It's all going down. Just had to get moved in here, kind of get everything finished and ready to go, and this and that. Just a lot of personal life things that nobody really cares about. But now I'm coming back to life and just like being a real human being again. I know the camera's crooked, but that's just how it has to be. So, I basically wanted to talk about money. Money is the root of all evil. And don't get me wrong, like, I think money is a good motivating factor in the world that we live in, of course. But I think it's going too far. It kind of changes the way that people make important decisions in life. It changes people's paths in life. And it changes people's just like overall identities. It's done a lot more bad at this point than it's done good. I do encourage technological and cultural progression, yes, a lot. But I think that people can be motivated as individuals, and I think that's a good thing. Lil Lappy would be making music if there was no money to be made from it. Dark Shark would be making music if there was no money to be gained from it. So, if that's the case, maybe a whole bunch of, all right, let's I'm not even going to go there right now. We're going to lead into that. So, as you know, rap was hip hop. Hip hop is not rap and rap is not hip hop. They're kind of just like two conjoined twins, but it's kind of like a misinterpreted concept. Rap was created to make money from hip hop. It was created to sell to a larger audience, make songs quicker, less memorable songs that can go in and out, make quick money, and be done with it. But it went so far, the industry controlled it so much that we are still in an age where payola is legal. It's okay. You pay money, you get on a playlist, doesn't matter if you're good or not, doesn't matter if you care about music or not. You get put on a playlist, they make you famous. The label wants to make some money, get a random person, put face tattoos on them, make them famous, And that's kind of messed up because there are people like me, trying to do this. All these other rappers, they don't want to rap. You can tell by the music they make. I don't think people have that level of consciousness to where they can tell who's a real rapper and who's a fake rapper. That's why I'm always saying all these fake rappers this, all these fake rappers that, because I can tell who's doing it for money and who loves it. But it's bad because when you sell these people the American dream and all of these people are living in poverty, what's the first thing they want to do? Be rappers. Be rappers. Pretend to be rappers. And it's easy to pretend to be a rapper because all you have to do is buy a microphone and buy a computer, connect them, press the record button. So when you think about it like that, it's just like you sold these people the American dream. All these random dudes are rapping not because they want to be like Big Crit, not because they want to be like Big Pun, but because they're broke. They're broke. Do they enjoy it? Maybe a little bit, probably not. Is it their God-given gift? Definitely not. So, considering that, it kind of puts me on an uneven playing field. Sometimes I want to rap, sometimes I don't want to rap. Was this what I was made to do? Go and listen to the music. Go look at how much music I have. Go look at how good it is. Go look at how much effort I put into it. How you could just, even if it's not your type of music, you can look and see how much effort I put behind it without getting anything back, right? And I do complain every now and then because that is frustrating. Like imagine cooking a meal every time and you can't eat the meal. You just cook the meal and you just can't taste your own meal. You don't get the benefits of cooking this meal, but you cook it every day, you know? But it's just like, because the market is so populated, it puts everybody who was made to do this in a bad position. And it's not just rappers. It's random white kids who just feel like they need to do it, you know, and it's not for them. And I think, like, yes, music should be played as a hobby, but should you be out here with people who really have this as a dream, with people who really have this as a true passion, not just something they do for fun, but something they bleed into? Like, there are a lot of spiritual ties in my music, a lot of really grimy things, a really, you know, a lot of grimy stories behind the music that I make. It's 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 not just something I do for fun. Like, I'm really pouring a lot of time into the craft. I changed my life up for the craft. But the fact that I may not be able to fully live my dream because people are trying to do this because they're poor, or the fact that I have to work extra hard, think outside the box, be more than a rapper, be like God, to even get to a minimal fan base is crazy. It should be crazy. I feel like we should be able to do what we want to do and reap the benefits of whatever that is. But the problem is money. Money. You know, it's a crazy game, man. It's a crazy game. When you think about it, one of the things these women are looking for in a man, money. They don't care if the dude is doing something boring like computer programming. Like, these women will put just as much consideration into dating a dude who they don't like that makes hundreds of thousands of dollars as they will like the perfect dude who's just doing what he wants to do and, you know, not making too much money from it. People's minds are getting changed. People are going to school to do all these weird things that they don't even want to do just to get money. You know, I originally wanted to be a psychiatrist. I went into school one day and this girl was like, yo, I can make $300,000 a year being a psychiatrist. I'm like, don't you want to help people? Doesn't make sense, right? So at that point, it disgusted me. I'm like, yo, I'm going to just be a pro rapper. It was at that moment, I was like 18. I'm like, yo, I'm going to be a pro rapper. So you got people going to school doing things that they don't want to do for money. Then you got people who can't go to school because they don't have enough money to do something that they do want to do and make a positive change in the world. It doesn't matter what you do. You know, you can make a positive change by doing it. You know, and you got to think, like, yes, a lot of people will make the argument that capital is the needed invisible or guiding hand, whatever they say, that's needed to make progression, to make this society move, to make things happen. But you have to think about where there are not funds and there is talent, there is intelligence. Think about that. Think about if you got Lil Lappy in a studio, right? With a composer. I had a real composer. I had some dude, you know, to engineer with the, you know, all that. Imagine you gave me all the resources. What would come out of it? What would come out of it? Think about it. a lot of craziness, a lot of groundbreaking work would come out of it, right? It all depends on what you think about me, but I'm just saying from like my viewpoint, a lot of craziness would come out of it. Like a lot of unreal music would come out of it just because I had the resources to produce that, right? So think about some random kid in the hood who's like a programmer, computer programmer. Man, that dude can make a flying iPad, like we don't know, and he just doesn't have the funds to make a flying iPad. We don't know what we can produce because we're keeping people in a situation where they can't do that. Things are just getting worse. So if we're choosing people's paths in life and, some people are limited just because of poverty, what are we going to do? Of course, yes, you have the people who do things to make money unwillingly. But I think there should be balance. I think there should be balance. I really do, And don't think about the people who do crime. Like, I don't blame anybody who does crime at all. Like free everybody out of the prison. Most of these crimes are committed because people want money or because something went down involving money. I guarantee you that is probably like a good 50-75% of the crimes committed over money in one way or the other. Or there was a cultural change that could have been made with money to prevent that person from going into prison. What if we created a system where, it was conducive to growth, to positive growth for people? What would happen then? What would happen then? But you just got to keep in mind, you got to think like, a woke conscious rapper. You know what I mean? Like, this is a system. They want to have money. They want people to be enslaved. These people, like I said in that one song, a lot of these people who are politicians are actually aliens. They're aliens. They're aliens. Like, either they're aliens, if they're not aliens, they're just masochists. They're masochists, and at the very least, they're just people who fall victim to greed. They want to see people suffer, and they want to see people broke. They think it's funny. They think it's funny. Either they're feeding on it, or they just think it's hilarious, Or they're just like, yo, like, it's a sacrifice, but like, I'm rich, It's just something to think about. Like, what could this society be had we balanced our money, And here's the other thing, right? Hold up, I'm trying to plug my charger in. I don't want to mess up the view of the nice studio. But I got a friend. Oh, here we go. And I'm not trying to spend 2 minutes trying to fix the camera. All right, I'm gonna just hold it like this. But I have a friend. Dude hates me because I'll explain it. But dude basically ain't know what to do with his life. Signed up for the military, sold his body. And I'm like, bro, like, that's whack. That's whack. Like, the government would set it up so you can sign up to kill random people for, like, no reason, right? And they will pay you in free thoughts, a Camaro 15% discount at Foot Locker, and maybe help you out with rent and college tuition. Like, yo, we will give you a livable life if you go out there and kill people for us for a reason that you don't understand. A lot of people are like, we got to protect the United States. And I know that people have good intention. Soldiers, there's no disrespect to them. They have good intentions, they really believe that they're serving the country. But that's not the case. A lot of people fighting this war do not understand this war. There is no reason why we're in the Middle East. We should have nothing to do with that place, but we're there, and we're doing it because we believe we're defending. It's not even the fact that people go to get oil for these companies or to secure the oil for these companies. It's the fact that they were sold an American dream. Like, I would have easily fallen for it. I would have easily fallen for it, to be honest with you. I honestly thought about it because there was one time I couldn't get a job. I was at a job fair. The dude was like, "Hey man, join the National Guard. You don't even have to do nothing. We'll like give you money." I'm like, Then the George Floyd riots took off. Like probably like a year later, George Floyd riots, Trump riots. And I'm just like, yo, like, I would have been there. Like, I would have been out there with them crazy people trying to defend the city. Like, nah. No, nah. No, thank you. No, thank you. But it just goes to say that this money thing can destroy lives. This money thing is taking lives away from people. This money thing is giving people an unrealistic view of the world. Not to mention, people work their whole lives, struggle. Your labor ain't even yours. You know what I mean? Like, it's bad. If you probably do not have the luxury of living your dreams, for one, but for two, if you pick the alternative to sell your labor to one of these companies, they'll give you the bare minimum. That is honestly terrible. Like, yo, like, if I can't be a pro rapper in a country that's prosperous, if I can't be a pro rapper, right, and I have to work at McDonald's to make ends meet, I should be compensated for that. I think everybody should be compensated for that. If you want to make your career being a McDonald's worker, they should give you a promotion. But if this really ain't what you want to do, they should compensate you for that. Why are you doing something that you don't want to do, right? And keep in mind, we're the only animals to toil for sustenance. Keep that in mind, right? Why would you want to do something that you don't want to do and get paid the bare minimum to do it? Like, just enough to make ends meet. Like, that's not cool. Meanwhile, the McDonald's dude is making billions of dollars. Like, you probably make $1 million a day off of McDonald's, or $1 million a week. Who knows? Probably $1 million every 2-3 days. That should be like, that should be accurate. But that's wild. That is wild. Like, I just think you should have something more. I think if you're working a 40-hour week, you should be able to get you a Mercedes Benz. You should be able to get you a Gucci belt. You should at least be compensated. And the crazy thing is that the United States could afford that. It's just like they just want to drain you and give you nothing for it. Kill off your environment for it. Kill off your people while you're doing it. Take away from your soul while you're doing it. There is no reason why we can't be feeding each other and everything around us if we're doing things that we should not be doing. God or whatever or whoever put you here doesn't want you to do this. There are some soulless beings who have no purpose other than to live and die. I do truly believe that. We can argue about that another time. But, like, it doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make sense for people. I've even seen some soulless beings who are just genuinely good people who enjoy life, and they're just amazing people. But it's just the fact that, like, you work and you die. Like, we weren't put here to do that, man. You know, yeah, there are people who want to be professional McDonald's flippers, like burger flippers. You know, I think my dad, he used to like cook and stuff. He would have enjoyed that, I think. You know, he would have enjoyed being a burger flipper, you know. There are people who love grocery stores because they can interact with people. There are people who love it, you know. And I think there are enough people who love it to keep this world going, you know. And if things were a little bit more balanced, a lot of people wouldn't be completely opposed to going into those jobs and just letting that be their reality. You know, think about it. If I was not truly a rapper, why would I try to enter the rap game if my job could pay me like $25 an hour? Why? You know? It's just hard. It's hard. You know? Why would I stand on the block and serve if I can just get a job that pays me well and treats me well? Like in these Amazon things, they just have people peeing in bottles because they want to make more money. What kind of work environment is that, man? You already got people. I worked in a warehouse. That thing was the worst thing in my life. I went in there because I thought it would make me a regular member of society. And I thought, you know, and they were paying well. You know, they were paying well. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in the warehouse. Got in the warehouse. I'm throwing around tires. They're yelling at me. And it's killing my back. Like my back is broke. No homo. But just, it's not good work. And so I left, dipped out. I'm like, yo, ain't no 6'5" dude with muscles about to sit here and yell at me. Sit here and yell at me to throw the tires around. Keep in mind, I'm not a big dude. You know, I look like a big dude, but I'm not a big dude. They got this dude over here on the ground. I'm in the truck. I'm picking up the tires. This dude's yelling at me. I'm breaking my back trying to do it because I don't lift no weights, man. I'm not out here like buff. Like I ain't on steroids. I ain't jacked. I don't got no protein powder. They got me lifting this. So I walked out. But as I was walking out, I was thinking like, this is really some people's lives. Like there are some people doing this work, and yes, they are paying you a lot of money. But that ain't enough for that level of, you know, that level of just depression. Spirits are bad. There's nothing to look at. There's nothing to do. You get 1 10-minute break. You get back on it. I just think this country needs to pay us more. We deserve more. And we have to advocate for that. That's exactly why I'm what they call an eco-socialist. Because I think just everything would start to get better if everybody, you know, if the funds move the right way. If you're telling me right now that the funds are moving the right way, you got tricked. It's not moving the right way. These politicians are making millions of dollars to sign laws to sign, this and that are against the people. It's not fair, but if everything was fair, things would get better. We would see things get better. All right? And then when things get better on that end, and we start making the programs, we start building the structures, taking people off the streets, putting food in people's stomachs, we could create the aura. The aura will be created once we have the resources. We'll have equality. We'll have love. We'll have people caring about one another. We'll see like happiness on so many different levels, but it starts there. It starts there. Because we can't really do anything without money, and that's kind of just how it was set up. We can tell people to love each other all we want, and they won't listen because their basic needs aren't met, because they're worrying about keeping up, with the standard that isn't supported by their occupation. A lot of people are gonna hate me for saying this, I know, and I'm not trying to be political. I'm not trying to say let's be socialist. I'm not saying I'm a Democrat. I'm not saying I'm this or that. I'm not trying to divide people. I'm not trying to make a political statement. I just want you to think about things. What would life be like if there was equal opportunity? What would life be like if pay was fair? What would life be like if there was no money? Where would our society be? What would you do? That's what you need to think about. What would you do if money wasn't a factor? If you just didn't have to worry about it? Who would you be? I guarantee you would probably be a little bit different too. Who would you be, and what would you do if money didn't exist? And that's it. I was kind of like rambling, but that's just what I had to say. Take care of yourself. Drink your water or whatever. Do what you love to do, Don't let this whole thing like break you down, I understand things are hard. I understand things are nearly impossible. I understand because of all of this that we live in. It's pretty sad. It's pretty darn sad and nearly impossible. But just, if you're watching this, just keep trying. Just keep doing what you can do and stay happy and try to do the things that make you happy, even if it's just for 2 minutes a day. Let your mind wander. It's the key to life, man. Yeah, this is my studio. Cool, huh?